So can you actually kill a sea? I mean, not just make it dirty, but wipe it completely off the map? Well, the answer is a shocking yes. It actually happened. And the story behind it, it's just incredible. It's a mix of huge dreams, terrible mistakes, and a seriously scary secret that was hiding just beneath the surface. We're gonna dive into the story of the sea that humans literally kill.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Geography Repo. This is where we dig into the wildest stories our planet has to offer. And let me tell you, today's story is an absolute shocker. It's about one of the biggest environmental disasters ever.
All right, so let's get right to it. How do you even begin to kill a sea? We're not talking about a pond here. This thing was once the fourth biggest lake in the world. And maybe the creepier question is, what do you find when all that water is gone? What secrets are left behind in the mud?
Okay, first things first. To really get what was lost, we've got to go back. Back to when the Aral Sea wasn't a disaster, but an absolute paradise.
So picture this. In the middle of Central Asia, there's this enormous body of water, basically an inland ocean. That was the Aral Sea, and it was absolutely teeming with life. We're talking a huge fishing industry that was the lifeblood for thousands upon thousands of people. It wasn't just a lake, it was a giant, a core part of the whole ecosystem.
So what went so wrong? Well, back in the 1960s, the Soviet Union came up with this massive plan. They wanted to grow a ton of cotton. They even called it white gold. And their big idea was to make the desert bloom. How? Simple. They took the two huge rivers that flowed into the Aral Sea and just diverted them. All that water was rerouted to feed these new mega farms. It was literally like pulling the plug on a bathtub and turning off the taps at the exact same time. The sea was basically left to starve.
And here's the crazy part. The plan kind of worked. They grew a lot of cotton, but the cost, oh man, the cost was insane. The seas started to die, and what grew in its place was just a nightmare.
Just look at this timeline from NASA. It shows you exactly how brutal it was, and the speed is what's truly mind-blowing. By the year 2000, the one big sea had split into two pieces, and by 2014, look at that. The whole eastern side of the southern part is just gone. Poof! An entire sea vanished in less than a human lifetime. It's unbelievable.
And the fallout from this was like a domino effect of disaster. First, the fishing industry just evaporated, gone. Entire towns became ghost towns. The water left behind? It got super salty, way saltier than the ocean, and it was full of pesticides from the farms. The dry seabed wasn't just sand, it was toxic dust. So every time the wind blew, it would whip up these huge poisonous dust storms, making people sick with cancer and lung problems. It even messed with the weather. Winters got way colder and summers got way hotter. A total catastrophe.
Okay, so the environmental disaster was bad enough, right? But as the water level dropped, it revealed something else, something that had been kept secret for years. A secret that was sitting on, well, let's just call it Death Island.
Right in the middle of this dying sea was an island called Vozrozhdeniya Island. Now get this, the name means Rebirth Island. The irony is just painful, because this place was all about death. It was home to Aral Sea, a top-secret Soviet facility where they tested biological weapons. We're talking anthrax, the plague, and yes, weaponized smallpox.
And in 1971, this secret base became the center of a real-life horror movie. On July 30th, they tested a really nasty strain of smallpox. A week later, a technician on a ship miles away from the island got sick. The virus had actually drifted across the water. She didn't know what she had, so she went home to the city of Aral. And that's when the outbreak started. 10 people got it. 3 of them died.
And look, this isn't just some rumor. This is a direct quote from a top scientist from that program, Pyotr Burgasov. He said the strongest recipes of smallpox were tested. She became infected. After returning home, she infected several people, including children. All of them died. Think about that. As the sea disappeared, this isolated island wasn't isolated anymore. It was becoming a part of the mainland, a ticking time bomb ready to go off.
So for decades, the story was just awful. Death, poison, decay. But then, something incredible happened. A little glimmer of hope. People decided they weren't going to let the whole sea die.
So in 2005, Kazakhstan built something called the Kokoral Dam. The idea was actually pretty genius. They knew they probably couldn't save the whole thing, but what if they could save a piece of it? So they built this huge dike, basically a wall, to cut off the smaller northern part of the sea from the bigger, dying southern part. This trapped all the water flowing in from one of the rivers and gave that northern part a chance to heal.
And what happened next was just wow. It created this tale of two seas. The massive South Aral was basically written off. It's still pretty much a toxic wasteland. But the North Aral, it started coming back to life. Seriously, the water levels started rising, the saltiness went way down, and believe it or not, the fish started to come back.
And this is the magic number right here. The salinity, how salty the water is, dropped by half. 50%. That was the game changer. It made the water fresh enough for fish to actually live in again. It was proof that even when things look totally hopeless, you can actually bring nature back from the brink.
But the story doesn't end with the dam. Nope, that was just the beginning. Right now, the effort to rebuild a future for the sea and all the people who live there is going strong.
You can see the progress for yourself. The amount of water in the North Aral is already up to 23 billion cubic meters, and the goal is to get it to 34 billion. The sea is actually physically growing again. How cool is that?
And this amazing comeback story isn't just a local effort. It's getting some serious backup. There's a whole new phase of the project happening right now, with support from groups like the World Bank. And it's not just about dumping more water in. It's about creating a whole new, sustainable future for everyone there.
So what's the plan? Well, it's about rebuilding the whole area from the ground up. First, they're upgrading all the water infrastructure to be super efficient. Second, they're bringing back the natural habitats, like wetlands for birds. Third, they're rebooting the economy with smart fishing and even tourism. And finally, it's all about the people, creating new, green jobs so that communities can thrive there again. When you look at it, the Aral Sea is two things at once. It's a huge, scary warning about what happens when we mess with nature too much. But it's also this incredible lesson in hope. It shows what we can fix when we really try. So it really makes you think, doesn't it? Where else in the world is this kind of thing happening right now? And what can we learn from this story? If you want to dive into more amazing stories about our planet, definitely hit that subscribe button for Geography Repo. Thanks so much for watching.